Guys, AI has completely transformed the workforce, and everyone's talking about layoffs and jobs and replacements and learning new skills, and all of that is important. But I think one of the things that's not getting the attention that it needs to is the amount of companies that are changing course. They went through mass layoffs, they fired everybody, tens of thousands, and then they turn around and they say, actually, we screwed up, we made mistakes. We just had a recent survey from OrgView that showed many business leaders regret going through these mass layoffs. Out of 1,000 C-suite senior executives, 39% said they cut jobs after deploying AI, which again, by the way, another narrative that I'm seeing out there is that AI is not really replacing jobs and, people are fine and, this is all just doom and gloom. Let's be clear. Let's be clear right now. Companies are deploying AI and firing humans. It is undoubtable. I just can't take anyone seriously that doesn't say that. It seems so obvious to me. I mean, heck, I've seen it personally where I say, oh, well, I'm using AI to write blogs now. I don't need my blog writer, sayonara. And I even had talked with them. I've talked to engineers at SaaS companies who say, well, I was going to hire a programmer, but now I don't need to hire a programmer because Claude is writing all this code. So when someone comes to me and says that AI is not replacing jobs, I just can't take that seriously. But there's a problem. There's a problem, guys, because out of all those people that made those layoffs, 55% say they regret the decision. They made a mistake, they fired the wrong guy, and things went kaput. And I think this is the real reality that a lot of humans are stepping to now, is saying, okay, there's a layoff, but what does that mean for me next? So don't crash out, guys. The reality is that your next job could be around the corner. And in fact, there's a couple things that you could do to dramatically increase the amount that you get paid. More on that in just a moment, because we're seeing some people get rehired back at a 35% salary increase. And I'll explain exactly how they're doing that, because let's face it, if I can make more money, I definitely want to do that. But again, this is not just theoretical though, guys. This is actually legitimately happening. We saw Ford deploy AI quality control systems with over 900 cameras, and immediately after, go ahead and lay off large swaths of people. But there was a problem. This resulted in the technology failing to detect defects in their products that previous engineers could have easily found. And the result, well, they realized they made a mistake and they rehired 350 people. And this is not a lone story, guys, but Charles Poon, who is the vice president of vehicle hardware and engineering, said, quote, "The technology is only as good as the data used to train it. Ford misjudged what AI could do alone." And I think what he says there is actually really revealing. He doesn't say AI will never be as good as humans. He says it is only as good as the data used to train it. And I think that's really important, guys, because even if companies are regretting their layoff decisions now, it doesn't mean they're gonna regret those layoff decisions in the future. And if you wanna future-proof yourself with this stuff, there's a couple steps you need to take. And again, we're gonna get to that in just a moment. But I think what's also interesting, it's not just Ford. We've covered a number of different companies, including Klarna. Klarna went through a similar process. They fired half of their staff only to realize that their customer service quality dropped and they had customers complaining all over the place. I actually covered that in a video. I'll post a link to that video here because I think what happened at Klarna is a really great case study in how not to replace your entire team with AI. But at the same time, guys, this does not mean that companies are just abandoning AI. Just because they see that their friends, their colleagues themselves are making layoff mistakes, it doesn't mean they're gonna say, oh, well, AI is broken, we're not gonna do it. Actually, it's quite the contrary. 80% of companies have active plans to reskill employees to work alongside AI. So they're not just turning around and saying, AI is broken, we're not gonna do it. They're saying, AI is very powerful and we need to be on the cutting edge. We need our team members to be on the cutting edge, so we're going to upskill them. And the reality, guys, is that, this doesn't always make employees happy. We covered in a video a few weeks ago, I'll post a link to the video here, how Meta employees actually revolted against plans by Meta to track mouse strokes and keystrokes to train their AI models. Again, I'll post a link to the video here because, they didn't like it at all. They were signing petitions, and actually Meta took a couple steps back on that because what what is a worse way to get replaced? By saying, hey, we're bringing all this AI technology and we just don't need you anymore? Or saying, hey, we want you to train your replacement, which is in effect what Meta was saying there. Like, hey, go ahead, train up all this AI and yeah, we'll get you out of here. We're not gonna need you after that. And the reality, guys, is that Meta is not alone. 34% of companies have seen their employees quit over frustration about being replaced by AI, and they go ahead and quit. Now, some analysts say that the layoff boom is going to reverse. This AI layoff boom that we've seen over the course of the year is going to reverse. I mean, just over the past 3 months, we've seen 40% of tech layoffs directly attributed to AI. That's not a small number. Overall, 25% of layoffs this year have been directly attributed to AI. And by the way, 25% up from 5% last year. And so these experts are saying, yeah, you know, it turns out that the AIs, you know, is not going to replace as many humans as we thought. And according to Forrester, over half of AI attributed layoffs are actually expected to be undone as the ramifications of these mass layoffs are felt. Again, all these companies going through mass layoffs are realizing that they maybe acted too quick or the tech isn't there and are rehiring people back. But don't get it twisted, boys. Don't get it twisted. We are in the infancy of AI. We are in the pre-game. This technology is revolutionary in a lot of ways. I've touched it, I've tasted it, so have you. It's not going anywhere. It's not going anywhere, and the technology will get better, it will get more efficient, the compute will become more powerful. Just look at Moore's Law. And you know, the reality here, guys, is that when it's possible for these companies to go through these layoffs, they 1000% will. The reason these companies are regretting it and rehiring people is because the quality control was down, the models were unreliable, the workflows broke down, there's security risks, there's a bunch of different problems that are created by these AI models. And as those AI models and as these workflows get perfected and improved, they're not gonna need you doing the same thing anymore. Now, it doesn't mean that you can't get work, but it means that, you know, if you don't take action, you're gonna be crushed. It is very, very important right now to take steps to protect yourself from the tidal wave of change. Like, the biggest mistake you can make right now is thinking that, okay, things are okay now. AI, that, you know, company A had a problem with AI, so I'm probably safe here. At company B, we're not gonna go anywhere. Guys, the technology is going to get better. I know there's conversations around, well, energy costs are gonna increase and, you know, there's chip shortages and all this. Fine, there's a lot of macroeconomic stuff happening, but I don't see any future where AI doesn't become more important, more efficient, and replace more and more tasks that are being completed. The reality, guys, is the first thing that you need to do is add AI execution to your skill set. It is paramount, both to the hireability and your compensation. You know, we see that employees that are being, the employees that are hired back with AI skills are being hired back into hybrid roles. And those hybrid roles, guys, are getting paid 20 to 35% higher salaries than previously, which is obscene, absolutely obscene. And guys, it is, I'll be honest with you, it is not that hard to add some AI literacy to your resume. It is not. And I've also, this is why I've been really saying that you need to be public with this stuff. Don't just like learn an AI skill and then not tell anyone. You need to be on LinkedIn preaching this. You should have like maybe a short blog. It doesn't need to be anything crazy, guys. Heck, you could just like 2 or 3 times a week share a link to something that's interesting that's in your industry on LinkedIn. I've said this a bunch of times. If you have ever done this, if you ever followed up and actually, if you were not being public with your AI learnings and now you are, share a link, you know, type it in the comments below. I want to hear from you guys. I want to make sure that we're out here actually building each other up. I mean, that's important to me. But the reality, guys, it's not even just about money. It's about actually being able to be hired in the first place, because we see a prediction that 50% of companies are going to be rehiring after layoffs in 2027. Who do you think they're going to be hiring back? Are they going to be hiring the guy that doesn't know how to or doesn't interested in AI? Or are they going to be hiring the dude that is actually executing and can actually speak on how AI is helping him do his job better? Just use your brain, guys. Use your God-given brain here. It is very, 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 very important. And, you know, I'll also just say that personally, I think it's a bad time to rely on getting a job. I think it's really important that you're building up some additional income streams, because the job market is going to be completely topsy-turvy for the next several years. And, you know, not only is it a good time to build a side hustle because there's all these new problems that are being created, but I don't think there's ever been a time where it's easier to build a side hustle. AI makes it much easier to build solutions, build workflows, solve the new problems that are being created by AI with AI. I mean, it just seems so obvious to me, and you know, I'm very thankful for the opportunity to do that. And in the worst case scenario, if it doesn't work out and your project fails and your second project fails and you end up, you know, whatever, deciding it's not for you, well, you got a lot of experience building with AI, then you become AI literate. So, I mean, it's kind of like this idea of, you know, the best way to learn something is by doing. And the reality is, if you can get paid and make side income while building, what better way to do it? Plus, there's a bunch of tax benefits, guys. There's a ton of tax benefits of creating your own business, your own LLC. So anyway, I want to hear from you. Do you have a side income? How are you attacking this problem right now? Have you been laid off? Are you working at getting rehired? How are you taking those steps? Let me know in the comments below. I love hearing from you guys. You guys are awesome. You rock. I think we're building one of the best communities here on the channel. John, Steve, all you guys out there, Cold Analytics, all you guys out there that are showing up day every day, Nikos, Fred, Jim, Johnson, all the guys that are reaching out in the comments, DMing me, emailing me. I appreciate you guys. Big stuff ahead. And yeah, type what you think below. And if you like today's video, like, subscribe. And check out yesterday's video. We talk about how cybersecurity is being completely flipped on its head. You can click on that video right here. I'll see you there, boys. Peace.